Hey guys, welcome to episode number 3 of the Pokémon Video Game Champions League. In this episode I have some great news for you and I'm gonna answer some final questions regarding the registration for the next season. Take a look at a short overview of today's episode. You're getting the latest information on the following season of the Pokémon Video Game Champions League, and I'm gonna announce a little surprise for you. You'll see the battles of matchday number 3 that have a curious impact on the tournament chart. The presentation of number 30 to 21 of our top 50 VGC 15 Pokémon list will this time be shorter than usual. Let's start with important questions that I didn't answer yet for those of you who would like to take part in the next season. When is the next season going to start? Because the Pokémon Video Game World Championship is going to take place from Friday, August 21 through Sunday, August 23, the next season is going to start on Monday, August 31. How much time will the season take? Since there will be 16 participants in total, I'm planning to have one of the 15 match days every week. So the whole season is going to take 15 weeks, ending in the second week of December if there is no delay. Do participants have to wait a whole week before they can play their next match? No, in fact you get a permission to play your next match on the tournament schedule when you and your next opponent have already played their latest match. Is there a good reason to take part in a tournament like this? Sure there is. And now it's time for a little surprise. Taking part in the Pokémon Video Game Champions League will not only give you the chance to gain publicity aside from an official VGC event, but the winner will be awarded with an Amazon.com gift card worth $50. Furthermore, the winner will get his own special episode after the season, showing all of his battles. The winner of the tournament and the owner of the top scorer Pokémon that achieved the most KOs during the tournament will also be interviewed for a written report on our Facebook page, and the top scorer will be featured in the new logo of our channel. What do I have to do to take part? Just click the link in the annotation on the right to watch our trailer of what you have to do if you want to take part in the next season. The rules in written form can be found as a link in the video description of every episode of this show. Registration is now open for you. Please notice that you will need a Facebook account to take part because of the communication with other participants. Of course, you can always ask me on Facebook or on YouTube if there is anything you still need to know. But now we're moving on to the battles of the third match day, featuring Tsuna vs Zwockel, me vs Amanda, and Cora vs Manuel. We are starting the third match day with the battle between Tsuna and Zwockel. Tsuna begins with Aromatisse and Landorus T. Zwockel decides to send in Hydreigon and Amoonguss. Tsuna can take his third victory today, but Zwockel can pass him in the tournament chart if he wins. We see Tsuna opening the match by protecting his Landorus T. Amoonguss uses Rage Powder, expecting Aromatisse to use Moonblast against Hydreigon. Dragon goes for the Draco Meteor, but hits the Protect. But Aromatisse doesn't go for Moonblast but for Dazzling Gleam, so Hydreigon takes a 4 times effective hit. But it does survive with a minimum amount of HP left. Zwockel is quite lucky here. Tsuna is now calling back his Landorus T and sends in Heatran instead. Of course, Zwockel switches out his Hydreigon now because of Aromatisse and decides to bring in Morwell. But after Tsuna's switch, this is not an improvement of his situation at all, and Intimidate doesn't do anything. At least Amoonguss is faster than Aromatisse, so it gets hit by Spore and is unable to attack for now. To keep it alive, Zwockel protects his Morwell for now, expecting a Fire-type move from Heatran. Aromatisse also wants to protect, but it's still sleeping. Heatran goes for the Heat Wave, hitting only Amoonguss, that of course can survive the attack, but getting burned by it. In return, it can use Spore once more to put Heatran to sleep as well. Zwockle can use the situation to switch out his Amoonguss that will regain 1/3 of its HP and safely send in his Mamoswine. His Morwal now Mega evolves. Tsuna doesn't switch out one of his Pokémon. Both of them are trying to use Protect in this turn, but they don't wake up, so Zwockle's Mega Morwal gets its chance to attack and take out Tsuna's Aromatisse with an Iron Head attack. Zwockle is in front now, but Tsuna can now switch in his Landorus T again to drop the attack stat of both opposing Pokémon. Tsuna decides to go for another Protect with Landorus T. Also Heatran wants to Protect again, but it's still sleeping. Zwockle goes for the Ice Shard against Landorus T and it fails, and Sucker Punch from Mega Morwal of course fails as well. Too bad that Zwockle didn't make better use of this turn. Tsuna wants to preserve his Landorus T for later, so he switches it out again and now brings in his own Amoonguss. Mamoswine goes for another Ice Shard, hitting Amoonguss this time, but because of the attack drop, it only does about 35% of damage. Mega Morwal fails again, trying to use Sucker Punch. Finally, Tsuna's Heatran wakes up and uses Heat Wave, hitting both of Zwockle's Pokémon, and again he is lucky because Mega Morwal barely survives the hit. Now also Zwockle wants to preserve a Pokémon, so he calls back his Mamoswine and sends in his Hydreigon that's barely alive. Tsuna's Amoonguss goes for the Rage Powder here in case Mega Morwal wants to use Sucker Punch again, but this time it doesn't, so Heatran can attack first and use Heat Wave again. But Hydreigon avoids the attack. Maybe that miss will be a deciding advantage for Zwockle now. But for now both players have 3 Pokémon left, so nothing is over yet. Zwockle sends in his Amoonguss again. Strange to say, Heatran goes for a Protect now, although there's nothing it would have to fear if Tsuna had used Rage Powder and Heat Wave here. So Zwockle gets the chance to use Draco Meteor against Amoonguss and take it out to get in front again, while at least Heatran is safe against Spore for this turn. Now Tsuna has to bring in Landorus T again, so it can't intimidate Zwockle's Mamoswine anymore. As we saw him do twice before, Tsuna protects his Landorus T once more. Zwockle can't do anything else than trying to use Rage Powder and hit Landorus T with a -2 Draco Meteor, but of course it fails, so Heatran can now easily take out both of Zwockle's Pokémon with another Heat Wave attack. That leaves Zwockle with only his Mamoswine against 2 Pokémon who should both be able to take it out if they don't miss. Since Landorus T is faster than Mamoswine, Zwockle has to try and take it out with Ice Shard, but now we see the Focus Sash triggering, keeping Landorus T alive. So Mamoswine doesn't even get a final KO before it ultimately falls to the Rock Slide of Landorus T, bringing Tsuna his 3rd victory in a row, while Zwockle takes his 2nd loss. In the next battle of this match day, I'm playing against Amanda. I'm starting the battle using Politoed and Kingdra here, while Amanda goes for Gyarados and Excadrill. Right now I'm having 2 victories while Amanda lost twice, so she definitely needs to catch up while I want to keep up with Tsuna. The first turn begins with my Politoed using Helping Hand to increase the attack power of Kingdra. Amanda's Excadrill goes for the Protect, just as I expected, so my Kingdra can use Dragon Pulse against Gyarados to bring it down to about 40% of its HP. But its Citrus Berry fills up its HP by 25% again, so even if I can hit it once more, I will most likely not take it out. Gyarados in return uses Thunder Wave against my Kingdra, so my Rain Sweeper is now more or less worthless without its speed. Amanda calls her Excadrill back, bringing in her Venusaur. That's a good moment for this switch, since it's almost no risk for her at all. Being afraid of Earthquake or another dangerous attack, I decided to protect Kingdra here. It doesn't help me at all after this switch. Gyarados taunts my Politoed. now can't even use Helping Hand anymore. Luckily I went for Scald anyway, but since it hits Venusaur now, it only does about 15% of damage and it doesn't even burn. Amanda can now go for the Mega Evolution of Venusaur, what makes it even harder for me. Her Gyarados goes for another Thunder Wave, slowing down my Politoed as well. Mega Venusaur goes for the Leech Seed against my Kingdra, to abuse my crippling sweeper to regain HP if I ever land a hit again. Meanwhile my Politoed can't attack because of the paralysis. At least Kingdra can use Disable against Mega Venusaur, so it can't use Leech Seed against my Politoed as well, but it can now freely attack with Giga Drain. Amanda's Gyarados now goes for the Rain Boosted Waterfall against my Politoed. It doesn't do too much damage, but it triggers the escape button, so I can now switch in another Pokémon. I decide to go for Zapdos here, hoping it will help me coming back into this match. Mega Venusaur goes for the Sludge Bomb against my Kingdra, leaving it with 30% of its HP, but this time the paralysis keeps Kingdra from attacking, and again I couldn't do anything this turn, while Mega Venusaur comes back to full health. Next Gyarados goes for Protect because of my Zapdos, and since I have no chance to take out Mega Venusaur this turn, I'm going for Thunderbolt, doing no damage again. Mega Venusaur goes for another Sludge Bomb, hitting my Zapdos for about 40% of damage and poisoning it. I'm really not lucky in this battle, because now Zapdos will go down after the next turn if another Sludge Bomb hits it. Dragon Pulse from Kingdra brings Mega Venusaur down to around 60%, and the Life Orb damage leaves no chance for Kingdra to survive another Leech Seed damage, while we see the rain ending this turn. I'm sending out my fourth Pokémon, Liepard, now. Since there is a high chance of me taking out one of her Pokémon, she decides to switch out Gyarados to bring in Excadrill and replace Mega Venusaur as well with her Bisharp. Expecting Excadrill to come in here, I decided to go for Charm against it instead of using Fake Tears against Mega Venusaur. Though this was the right decision, my Hidden Power Flying does less than 20% of damage against Bisharp, while Zapdos takes another turn of poison damage. Bisharp goes for a Protect now. Since I can only hit Excadrill ineffectively, I have to use Fake Tears against it, so I can at least deal a bit of damage. Excadrill uses Drill Run against my Liepard, doing about 48% of damage because of the attack drop. To outspeed it in the next turn, Zapdos goes for Tailwind. I now go for the switch from Zapdos to Politoed again, not making use of my Tailwind here. After the rain starts falling again, I make my next move with Liepard using Anchor against Bisharp, so it can't use Sucker Punch anymore. Of course, the forced Protect of Bisharp fails now. Excadrill meanwhile goes for the Iron Head against my Liepard, and once more I'm having bad luck because it's a critical hit and Liepard has no chance to survive it, though the chances would have been quite good. Now I can't drop Bisharp's special defense the next turn, and I fear there goes my last chance to handle Mega Venusaur in the end. I'm predicting Amanda to switch out her Bisharp now to stop the Anchor, but my predict is wrong this time, so I'm running into Protect with my Hidden Power Flying instead of taking out Excadrill. In return it can use Rock Slide and take out my Zapdos, so now there is no chance left for me to win this battle at all. Though I can take out Excadrill with a Scald attack here, my paralyzed Politoed can never take out Mega Venusaur on its own. We see that one more Giga Drain against Politoed is not enough to take it out yet, but since I couldn't drop its special defense before, my Scald is not enough to take out Bisharp in return. While we see Anchor and the Tailwind end, it's pretty clear that there's nothing left to do for me. Mega Venusaur uses another Giga Drain, and with a critical hit that's significant for this battle, my Politoed ultimately goes down, so Amanda takes the first victory in this tournament. The last battle of matchday number 3 takes place between Cora and Manuel. Manuel begins with Talonflame and Hydreigon. Cora sends out Togekiss and Landorus T. I think she made a quite good pick there. Fearing a KO right in the first turn, Manuel switches Hydreigon out and sends in his own Landorus T to drop its counterpart's attack stat. Talonflame goes for the Protect meanwhile. Cora's Landorus T goes for the Rock Slide, hitting the other Landorus T and doing about 30% of damage. Togekiss, however, doesn't attack here, but it goes for Tailwind, what is a good decision since Hydreigon switched out either way. Manuel decides to switch out Talonflame here instead of going for his own Tailwind, and he brings in Hydreigon once more. But also his Landorus T comes back, and he sends out his Rotom Wash instead. Cora goes for the obvious Rock Slide once again, doing a small amount of damage against both of Manuel's Pokémon. But she makes the right decision here by not using Air Slash with Togekiss. She goes for the Dazzling Gleam to hit both of Manuel's Pokémon once more and easily take out Hydreigon. Manuel is down to 3 Pokémon and brings in his Landorus T once more, so its counterpart is already down to -2 attack. That's why Cora calls it back this turn, and she sends in her Rotom Wash. It's quite fascinating how she makes much better use of her team by now, though it's so similar to what Manuel uses. His Landorus T uses Protect, what won't help him very much this turn because of Cora's switch. Togekiss goes for another Dazzling Gleam here, hitting Manuel's Rotom Wash and bringing it down to less than 50% of health, triggering its Citrus Berry, so it comes back to around 70% again. In return, it uses Hydro Pump, connecting with Cora's Rotom Wash here, but doing only 20% of damage. Now Cora's Rotom Wash can go for Thunderbolt against its counterpart, taking it down to around 30% of health. Another Dazzling Gleam follows, doing another 20% against Rotom Wash and landing a critical hit on Landorus T. In return, Manuel can go for Rock Slide now, but it only does a little amount of damage against both Pokémon. The following Thunderbolt from Manuel's Rotom Wash can't take out its counterpart as well, only triggering its Citrus Berry, so the turn ends with it still having 50% of its health. The Tailwind ends here, so maybe Manuel can take this chance for a comeback. He calls back his Rotom Wash and brings in Talonflame again. But first Landorus T can go for another Rock Slide, both of Cora's Pokémon survive here. But Rotom Wash flinches. And Togekiss does as well. Wow, that's bad luck for Cora. When Manuel takes this chance to turn around the battle, his Talonflame uses Brave Bird to reduce Rotom Wash's HP. It doesn't take it out yet, but at least it does enough damage so Landorus T can finish Rotom Wash and Togekiss off at the same time with its Rock Slide. For the first time in this battle, Manuel is in front. Cora now has to send in her last 2 Pokémon, but fortunately she has Salamence and Landorus T in the back, so she gets the double Intimidate off against 2 physical Pokémon. I think even Rotom Wash won't be able to turn around this disadvantage Manuel just got into. Let's see what he can do in this situation. Salamence goes for the obvious Mega Evolution. Desperately, Manuel uses -2 Brave Bird against Landorus T, but without a critical hit the damage is not worth mentioning. Cora's Landorus T can use Rock Slide in return to take out both of Manuel's Pokémon, leaving him with only Rotom Wash. While Hyper Voice of Mega Salamence doesn't have any target to hit, the victory for Cora is sealed here. Manuel should have gone for Tailwind and the switch from Landorus T to Rotom Wash. That might have been the last chance to make the battle end closely. Now he can only see his Rotom Wash going down to another Rock Slide, so Cora takes her first deserved victory. We are now having a look at the tournament chart after 3 match days. Tsuna, who took his 3rd victory already, could conquer the first place of the tournament chart without losing by now. His Pokémon difference is +6. After taking my first loss against Amanda, I'm still on the 2nd place at least. I have 2 victories, 1 loss and a difference of +2. Though Zwockel lost his match against Tsuna, he is still 3rd in our tournament chart. He has 1 victory, 2 losses and a difference of -1. Amanda caught up with her victory against me. Just as Zwockel, she has 1 victory, 2 losses and a difference of -1. Because she lost to Zwockel on the 2nd match day, Zwockel is still in front of her. Also Cora could finally take her first victory and leave the last place of the tournament chart. She has 1 victory, 2 losses and a difference of -3. Manuel is the big loser of this match day. He fell from place 4 to the last place, having the same results as Cora, with 1 victory, 2 losses and a difference of -3, but in direct comparison he lost against Cora, so she overtook him. After the recent feedback, I have decided to make the presentation of the top 50 VGC 15 Pokémon a bit shorter from this episode on. So you're going to see number 30 to 21 of our list in a cutted version. Smeargle is just annoying, and I guess nobody wants to face this Pokémon. But with the Focus Sash, Fake Out, Spiky Shield, Dark Void and Transform, it might be able to break your winning streak if you're not prepared. Just a short calculation to let you understand why Dark Void is so dangerous. An accuracy of 80% in double battle means that you have a 64% chance of hitting both of the opposing Pokémon. In 32% of the cases you hit one Pokémon and miss the other one, and in only 4% of the cases you miss both of them. That means that you have a 96% chance of hitting at least one Pokémon with Dark Void. Clefairy might be the best non-fully evolved Pokémon right now. With its Friend Guard ability, damage against its partners will be reduced by 25%. This way, moves like Hyper Voice will be weakened even more after the 25% drop for double battles, while single target moves can be drawn away by Follow Me. The damage of moves like Hidden Power Ice is often calculated to 1-hit KO Mega Salamence or other dangerous and common Pokémon. A reduction of 25% means that your Pokémon will safely survive an attack now that would have knocked it out normally. Morwal, of course, is only good in its Mega form because of its bulk and its great ability. It isn't one of the most used Megas like back in 2014 anymore, but still it has a great defensive coverage, much power and Intimidate before Mega evolving. Playing it in a Trick Room team might be a good idea if you find it too risky to use Mega Camerupt, Mega Slowbro or another slow Mega Pokémon instead. Swampert is a Pokémon that is quite easy to scout as a Mega Pokémon by looking at the team around it. With Politoed and maybe Ludicolo, Tornadus and typical rain stuff, it can definitely be expected to be the Mega, played physically with Waterfall, Earthquake and Ice Punch. If it isn't a Mega, it most likely carries the Expert Belt and the moves Scald, Ice Beam and Earth Power. With the offensive coverage of Ice and Ground type attacks, it can be quite dangerous for many common Pokémon. Hitmontop can be quite useful because it is one of the few Pokémon that can carry Wide Guard without missing another move that could possibly take the spot. The combination of Fake Out and Intimidate is great, and with a step close combat, it can shut down some common Pokémon. With Fiend, it has a high priority move that can take out enemies that are down on their Focus Sash before they have a chance to attack with their own priority moves, like Bishop with Sucker Punch or Talonflame with Brave Bird. Greninja is very versatile, though it can't take many hits. You can use it completely physical with Rock Slide, Gunk Shot and Low Kick, play it mixed with Ice Beam or run a completely special set with Scald and Dark Pulse. For the current metagame, I would recommend a mixed set with Rock Slide, Low Kick and Ice Beam boosted by the Life Orb and its instant step thanks to the Protean ability. Ludicolo is the best rain sweeper out there. It learns Fake Out, it only needs a bit of speed investment to outspeed every relevant Pokémon in this meta game. It has recovery thanks to learning Giga Drain, it can burn enemies with Scald, and with Ice Beam it has a great coverage to get rid of Pokémon like Mega Salamence. By holding the Assault Vest it even gets amazing special bulk. The only problem about Ludicolo is that it needs Politoed to become a great rain sweeper. Blaziken is similar to Greninja, but instead of getting Step on whichever move it uses, it gets faster every turn. By maximizing its speed stat, it can outspeed an Adamant Landorus T after only one turn. Playing it completely physical is rather common for the Mega, but the non-Mega can unfold its potential best with a Life Orb and a mixed moveset, since it lacks a good special fighting type move. With Low Kick or Superpower, Overheat and Hidden Power Ice, its coverage is amazing and you have a chance of getting one-hit KOs on many of the most common Pokémon in VGC 15. Rotom Wash is a very predictable Pokémon, but it has some benefits over many other Pokémon and its other common form Rotom Heat. With only one weakness, it doesn't need to fear Rock Slides that much and it can handle Pokémon like Suicune, Heatran and Landorus T quite easy, because it's bulky and it has very effective step moves to handle them, while it doesn't take much damage of their attacks. Politoed is one of the most important gears in the history of VGC meta games. With its Drizzle ability it gives Pokémon like Ludicolo, Kingdra and Mega Swampert great potential to become a dangerous sweeper. Politoed can also be a good supporter with moves like Helping Hand or Icy Wind. A Scarf set is quite rare but might work sometimes as well, since it can deal a good amount of damage with a rain-boosted Hydro Pump. With Perish Song it is often one of the crucial Pokémon for a successful Perish Trap strategy. That's it from today's episode. I hope you are looking forward to episode number 4, and there will be some registrations for the next season already. See you next week. Bye bye!